It is Thursday, September 2nd. This is Jaguars Happy Hour. And now, newly acquired backup striker for AFC Richmond, J.P. Shadrick.
Welcome in. The September 2nd just kind of shook me there. Here we are into September now. A little over a week away from the start of the regular season. And welcome in. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on a Thursday afternoon. J.P. Shadrick with you. Jeff Lageman coming up at 4:15 today. Plenty to get to on the show. The cuts are in. The practice squad continues to be built. They added 13 yesterday and reports of another add today at the quarterback position. We'll get to that coming up. No official announcement yet from the team, but we'll get to those reports in just a few moments. News of the week. It's been a busy week around TIAA Bank Field. The Jaguars were on the field today for the final time before Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. Network coverage of Jaguars Happy Hour at 5 o'clock today. Blogs will be on there, and we'll hear from Bucky Brooks, NFL Network analyst. John Ozier will break down the wide receiver position. They originally kept 5, added a 6th with a waiver claim, and they've got some guys stocked on the practice squad too. So plenty to get to today. Let's recap the week. The Jaguars were back at it today on the practice field, the final on-field work of the week. As we said, the team will have off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Travis Etienne Jr. just tweeted a moment ago that, quote, surgery went great. Thanks to everyone for all the love and support. The road to recovery starts now. Hashtag blessed and grateful. Etienne went under the knife today. And that's good news that it all went well according to Travis, and we wish him the best in his recovery in the months ahead. And let's get him back and ready to roll in 2022. But an unfortunate loss for this Jaguars offense. That just happened about 40 minutes ago or so. Etienne tweeted that out. The roster was cut down to 53 Tuesday at 4 p.m. Immediately after that, head coach Urban Meyer met the media and discussed a few areas, including at the time a couple position groups that were shorter than normal.
That's concern number one for me. You know, we got Dorsett is dinged right now. We brought in Devin Smith, and he goes out there and makes a catch that I haven't seen our guys make. So, but he's also had 2 ACLs. He's an older player, but he gives you the top end of he can knock the top off the coverage. That's my biggest concern, and also 3 running backs with the Etienne being out. So that's 24/7 conversation as we continue.
So the initial shock there was 5 receivers, 3 running backs, but the Jaguars had the top priority in the waiver claim order, of course, and they do through week 3 of the regular season. And there was some speculation. Maybe they'll, bring in 3, 4, 5 different guys possibly. They ended up bringing in 1 on a waiver claim. Tyron Johnson, wide receiver from the Los Angeles Chargers, a young guy, an undrafted free agent by the Texans originally in 2019 out of Oklahoma State. Spent some time on the Texans, Bills, Panthers, and Chargers practice squads that year. Was on the active roster in week 4 of last season for the Chargers. And, of course, the Jags just claimed him. Speed is his game. Last year, he played in 12 games for the L.A. Chargers, 20 catches, just under 400 yards, and 3 touchdowns for L.A. So something that the Jaguars needed. They needed a little more speed. Urban talked about that earlier in the week, and they feel like at least they got that with Tyron Johnson now the 6th receiver on the 53-man roster. At the same time they announced the waiver claim pickup, they announced the 13 players at the time that were signed to the practice squad. All of those were either waived or released earlier in the week, and it includes some familiar names, of course, at wide receiver. So Jeff Cotton Jr., Philip Dorsett II, Josh Hammond, who had a good preseason, is on the practice squad. Devin Smith had that long reception in preseason week 3, and then Laquan Treadwell had his moments in camp. Those are the wide receivers. Running backs Nathan Cottrell and Divine Ozigbo are part of that group as well. So some guys that, with the flexibility of the practice squad this year, you'll be able to move guys up and down. They are familiar with the system, of course, after being in the offseason program in a couple of instances throughout the year. Cotton and Treadwell have not been here the entire offseason. They came in a little bit later. But they have an idea of what's going on offense for sure. There are reports this afternoon, the team has not announced it yet, that the Jaguars, in fact, they just now, moments ago, announced it that they have signed 2 players to the practice squad, Matt Sokol, a tight end, and quarterback Kyle Laletta. And they have placed Tavon Austin on injured reserve, the wide receiver. Kyle Laletta, if that sounds familiar to you, remember week 1 of the preseason. He was the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns and had a pretty good outing against the Jaguars, at least statistically in that game. He was 19 of 27 passing, 212 yards, 2 touchdowns, 118 rating. Laletta, a 4th-round pick by the Giants back in 2018 out of Richmond. Waived by the Giants and final cuts that year, was in the Eagles practice squad in 2019, the Falcons in 2020 on the practice squad, and then the Browns practice squad last season from October through the end of the season. So Laletta now a member of the Jaguars practice squad. And again, just moments ago, the team announcing that Laletta signed to the practice squad and Matt Sokol, the tight end, and Tavon Austin, who was having himself a nice camp. He came in very late in camp and right away was making plays on the practice field, had his moments in games, felt like he could have been at least part of the solution to the Travis Etienne absence. Maybe not the whole solution. There aren't many guys that can do all of those things, but he's got some experience in the league. Unfortunately, he is on injured reserve after he was banged up on the practice field going into last week's preseason finale in Dallas. So that's the update on the practice squad. Let's move now to the offensive line. And earlier this week, George Warhop, offensive line coach, spoke with the media. It was actually yesterday. And it sounds like the starting 5 should be available week 1 against the Houston Texans, according to Warhop. That's good news. Of course, Cam Robinson turned an ankle a couple of weeks ago. Left guard Andrew Norwell's been battling through an elbow issue, nothing too major there. A little knee issue for Brandon Linder. And then A.J. Cann is still on the reserve COVID-19 list even today, but there are expectations that those guys could be back. There's also a lot of talk this camp about Walker Little, 2nd-round draft pick out of Stanford this year. And Warhop still has confidence in the young left tackle for the Jags.
I think Walker's performed like most rookies perform. I think in some instances he's done really well. In some instances he struggled a little bit, and most of his struggles are really just putting himself in position to win, right? And that's getting used to playing the game at this speed and at this level. I made the statement before about Walker. I think he's the most prepared young guy I've had, and I still stand by that. But there's still a process involved, right? For a guy to come out of college, to come into this league and have to play left tackle, unless you're, a top 5 pick, and even those guys struggle playing left tackle, is a work in progress.
And he hasn't played football in nearly 2 full seasons. He was hurt week 1 of 2019. Remember that, of course, and we've seen him a lot in the preseason. It is a work in progress. There are still high hopes, as you heard Warhop say there, but the starting 5 that everybody thought was going to begin the season, at least that's the plan as of right now, is to let them start week 1 against the Houston Texans. We'll see how the season goes. Attrition, things can happen. At some point you might see Walker Little in a game on the offensive line for the Jaguars. Who knows? Now on to quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, of course. You might have heard of him. He's the starter. He was the number 1 overall pick. C.J. Beathard now the backup for the Jaguars after the trade of Gardner Minshew II to the Philadelphia Eagles. And Beathard spoke with the media Wednesday about coming into a new offense with the Jaguars after 3 seasons in San Francisco.
Spring was trying to get a feel for it, feel for the offense, the terminology, all that kind of stuff. It's kind of like learning a new language. There's some carryover from certain offenses in the NFL, and there's a little bit here, but it really is like learning a new language. So you're just kind of trying to speak that language with the coaches and get on the same page with them. And I'm still growing and learning and trying to do that as we go, and I will be for the next however long I'm here. So, but it's definitely slowed down a lot this camp. As camp started to get going and preseason started to get going, it slowed down a lot, and I feel comfortable in it now.
Well, C.J. Beathard is from Franklin, Tennessee, and he has the beard to match, I think. But good to hear from Beathard this week, a 3rd-round pick of the 49ers in 2017 out of Iowa, of course, signed in this offseason, got some guaranteed money with that, about $2.7 million. And played in 19 games with San Francisco with 12 starts, 2-10 record out there as a starter. Threw for just under 3,500 yards in that time frame. 18 scores, 13 interceptions. And he's a guy that has been around. Obviously, Trent Baalke is here now, was in San Francisco. Beathard is going to be a good resource, I think, for Trevor Lawrence as well. He's been in the league for a few years, kind of gets it, can at least what we saw in the preseason, is not scared to throw the ball down the field if he needs to. The consistency in the regular year, here's the thing. You don't want to see him all the time. Obviously, that means Trevor's not playing or you're up by 40. Then you want to see him, and that'd be okay too. But there it is. He's the backup quarterback, and he understands the role. I think he totally gets what's going on, and he'll be a good resource for Trevor Lawrence and this offense. Let's move to today now. We heard from wide receiver DJ Chark Jr., and remember, he suffered a hairline fracture in the middle finger on his right hand early in training camp. And obviously, he is fired up, as he said today, to be on the practice field this week and again next week to get ready for week 1.
Early on, I came out, dressed of the day, did running on the side. Yesterday we had practice. It was my first time actually in breaking the huddle. Today the same, and just moving forward doing that. Running on the side is different from breaking the huddle, running against a DB, resistant running, things like that. So there's still ways to go, but I have good faith in myself and my coaching staff to help me get there. We got like 10 more days, so I'll be good.
Remember early in the offseason, DJ Chark Jr. was challenged by Urban Meyer. Said he didn't play big last year and by size. He challenged him to put on some muscle, and he did that. 8 to 10 pounds of muscle in this offseason. Came back to the offseason program much stronger, and now in training camp just hasn't seen a lot of the field, of course, because of that finger injury. It's a huge year for Chark. It is a contract year for him. And, as a second-round pick, this is the final year of his rookie contract, and there are high hopes for Chark to be a big piece of this offense, and the piece of it that he can stretch out down the field. They really don't have a lot of that, at least proven here yet. They might have it on paper, but they haven't really seen it. Chark is a guy that can do that. And it will be nice to see the full frontline receiving group on the field during a game, I think for the first time in a while, if not at all in the preseason. Chark, Jones, and Chenault didn't have much time together because of the injury to Chark, and working with Trevor Lawrence with those three guys out there and a full arsenal will be nice to see. Let's move to defense now. Second-year linebacker Shaq Quarterman has put together a nice training camp. Special team star, of course, but he's also loving the feel on defense.
His defense is a player-friendly defense for sure, and that's one of the first things that the coaching staff, implemented when they came in. They said, the way to keep good players is to give them, simple tasks, allow them to play fast. So Coach Cullen has done a great job with that. But in terms of when the light came on, I knew as soon as I really got my opportunity to put my cleats on the ground, I would definitely gain confidence and just knowing where I belong.
3-4 inside linebacker. He's a downhill player. Of course, he's right here from Oak Leaf High School in Orange Park. It's his second season now. He was the leading special teams tackler a year ago for the Jags in his rookie campaign. And, one of the leading tacklers, I should say. And he'll be a big piece of that again, obviously, on the special teams part of it. Will he play a little more of a role on defense? Depends on how they set up certain things, but obviously with Miles Jack and Damian Wilson, the frontline guys in the middle, we'll see if he can touch the field on defense a little bit more. And part of the Joe Schobert trade, a piece of it at least, was their belief in Shaq Quarterman and his ability on defense, if not now, then maybe in the future moving along. Let's finish with the kicker. Josh Lambo met the media today. He had plenty to say about his season a year ago with that hip issue. A little bit of what's going on above the shoulders with him, but also the kicking situation this year and his status entering 2021.
It takes a little bit of time. I've never had this situation. I've never come off of a season where I only played 4 games. now coming into a season with a new coach, now coming into a season with no guaranteed money on my contract. Like, I know how things work around this league. You know, once you get that big number in front of your contract, you have a big old target on your back. And I'm aware of how things work. And so that has fueled me more to, like I said, work harder, do more, watch more film, ask more questions, because I still think there's a little bit left in the tank.
Well, as Urban Meyer said, just got to make the field goals. And you can hear the entire availabilities on Jaguars.com from earlier this week, from Warhop to Quarterman to Lambo to all the rest that happened, C.J. Beathard as well. Check them out on the official team website. Season tickets, single game tickets, and group tickets. Be a part of the new era of Jaguars football and own it. Visit Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. Plenty ahead. Jeff Lageman joins us in just a moment. We'll get some thoughts on Urban Meyer's week and plenty more ahead. Defensive talk. And the second hour of Jaguars Happy Hour comes up at 5 o'clock today as well. We're off and running. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Jaguars Happy Hour is brought to you by Dreamfinders Homes, homes that fit your lifestyle. And by Baptist Health, changing healthcare for good.
Hi, I'm Tito Beverage, founder and master distiller at Titos Handmade Vodka. In 1997, we became the first micro distillery in the state of Texas, and we're still making the same smooth stuff after all these years. We're still cooking in a pot still, working with our dogs by our sides, having fun and tasting batches, and I'm still wearing the same hat, even after all these years. Head over to TitosVodka.com to learn more about what else we're doing the same. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. TitosVodka.com.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, one taste and you're feeling good now, smiling wider now, seeing brighter now, bucket dunking now, namasteing now, popping a wheelie now, living lighter now. You're on Tropic Time now. And on Mondays, try our Jaguars Duval Delight Smoothies for $2.99. And you're roaring louder now, end zone dancing now, sipping spirit now. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we built the trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 44 years straight. Built for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't built for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2020 calendar year total sales.
So, it's happy hour. Let's talk whiskey options. Have you tried Citrus Distillers? Have you tried Citrus Distillers Limited Edition 2021 Barrel-Aged Jaguar Whiskey? Did you know it's only available for a limited time and manufactured in Jacksonville? Yes, Jacksonville. I said local whiskey. Try it on the rocks or in a Jack's Whiskey Sour. Citrus Distillers Jaguars Whiskey is available at local liquor stores, restaurants, and the Jaguar Stadium. Drink local, Jacksonville. Find recipes and events at jaguarswhiskey.com.
Why live with foot or ankle pain? If you have persistent pain, numbness, tingling, burning pain on the bottom of your foot, or swelling that doesn't improve with home treatment, it may be time to see Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Our foot and ankle specialists have innovative new options to help you get back in the swing of things without persistent pain that slows you down. Call JOI 2000 or go to joionline.net for an appointment.
Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony. Jaguars Today. All Jaguars, all NFL, all the time. 10 to noon weekdays on 1010XL.
Everyone was considered. That was part of the production. Let's start talking about this, and then also is he vaccinated or not? Can I say that was a decision maker was certainly in consideration.
Head coach Urban Meyer earlier this week. Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour, and veterans choose VA for the benefits you've earned. Visit choose.va.gov. Jaguars Happy Hour continues. JP Shadrick with Jeff Lageman on the desk with us now. Happy Thursday, Logs, on this weird preseason bye week.
It's kind of odd, right?
I
like it, though.
There's a couple reasons why I think I like it. One of those is, after a long off-season program and, training camp and things, everybody just gets a week to, take a week away, get your mind right, and get ready for week one. Also, for the football team, second reason I like it, those little nicks, those little injuries, little turned ankle, this or that, I think you'll have more of a full-strength feeling week one around the league than I think you have in the past.
I'm not going to disagree with anything you said, but the main reason I'm going to say why I like it is because did we really want to watch the fourth preseason game? I mean, dang, JP. I mean, the fourth preseason game was painful.
Yes, it was.
Right? So instead of having a fourth preseason game, now we get one extra regular season game. And in the big picture, that's what this is about. That's a good thing. And 2 weeks is great to allow teams to focus on getting ready for the opener. But also there's going to be some interesting days, okay, because rosters are going to continue to be tweaked all the way up until the end of next week. That's the reality. And so it's not going to get quiet all of a sudden because now there's a bye week. I mean, there's still going to be a lot of activity.
I think we just heard from Urban Meyer there, and that was the big headline, all that stuff
Why?
this week.
Why was that a big
here's
headline?
what I think. Urban could cut a ham sandwich, quote-unquote, incorrectly and catch hell for it from the national media just because of his name recognition.
Well, then, first of all,
I don't think he said anything incorrect.
Well, the reason why it became a big story is because the Players Association came out and said they are investigating. That's what they said, Georgia Talley, from the Players Association. So when the Players Association says we are investigating Urban Meyer's comments, what is there to investigate? Okay, the script is right there. The video, you can go to Jaguars.com, NFLPA, and watch the video to do this thorough investigation. The reality is he didn't say anything wrong whatsoever. Every coach in the National Football League has a responsibility to their team to win football games. And how do you win football games? You get better players. You get better players that are available.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. And the team actually put out a statement the next day about availability and the importance. And if you're watching on video, you can read the entire statement on Jaguars.com. We won't go through it here. But
look, here's the reality is availability, which is we've heard general managers and coaches for years talking about that availability is way better than any other kind of ability that a player has. Simple. Because if the player can't play, then it doesn't matter. So you can't stick your head in the sand and act like that a player's vaccination status is not of part of the decision-making process. Sure it is.
Is it the deciding factor?
Sure,
no.
JP, well, here's the fact, okay? Let me give you where it is. Okay, from my standpoint. If I'm a general manager or I'm a coach, okay, and I've got player A and I've got player B. Mm-hmm. Player A and player B are about making the same amount of money.
Okay.
Player A and player B are about the same as far as potential-wise. As far as potential, their ability to play, everything is equal. The determining factor right there sways to one. If one's vaccinated and the other one is not, I'm taking the vaccinated player. If everything else is equal. That just makes sense. You have a responsibility to the team to get the best player you can for the team, and availability or possible availability is part of that factor. And I don't understand why, and look, the media and some of the people that criticize that are saying, well, he should have just lied. Okay, Bill Belichick lied about Cam Newton, and that's why he was cut. Well, we don't know that. And to sit there and say that Bill Belichick lied, I think is ridiculous. That's a big assumption. Maybe it was, but you know what? You don't know that. And so to sit there and go, okay, well, we're going to jump on Urban Meyer. We're going to call Bill Belichick a liar because they're not admitting the fact. Look, the reality is that, look, that's a fact. And the players ought to realize that. And this is reality. Player A and player B.
Mm-hmm.
Player A vaccinated, player B unvaccinated. Equal, okay? Player A vaccinated, he stays. B gets cut, and now B's on the street. What do you think B's thinking? Maybe I should get vaccinated because you know what? I'm on the street and I need a job. And if I'm on the street, okay, now there's player B and player C on the street. Player C's vaccinated, B still stays unvaccinated. The team that needs a guy is going to go to C. So once again, B gets bypassed. I mean, it's just common sense. So, but anyway, it was an interesting cut. There was a defensive heavy roster.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, were there any surprise cuts to you?
No, and here's why it was not a surprise anywhere. With the expanded rosters that you have there, is there really a shortage on one side of the ball or not? No, because look at the practice squad that you've assembled now.
Oh, right. It's heavy with guys, obviously. And
okay, quarterback, tight end, wide receiver, running back, wide receiver, center, running back, wide receiver, offensive lineman, wide receiver. Okay, you can pluck any of these guys up on game day. Okay, any of these 16 guys up on game day and bring them up. So it's not anymore. And I when you're trying to formulate your roster, it's always about the 53. You're trying to keep the best 53 most valuable guys that you can. And then after that, you have 16 roster spots. I'm not calling it practice squad because, in fact, it's a roster spot because you can use them, 4 times for free, each player 4 times. And then after that, if you need, you're going to have to activate them up to the active roster to be able to use them at any point after that.
Right.
That's like having an expanded roster. The expanded roster doesn't make the cut to the 53 all that, of a wow moment anymore.
Who are the 4 that you think you would protect? I mean, you can change that every week, and so people can't come grab your guys. Quarterback?
On this list, well, I mean, you always want to protect your quarterback, and I'm sure that the Jaguars tried to keep Jake Luton. And they're not going to come out and say that because then that's kind of offensive to Kyle Lauletta, who the Jaguars did put a release out to say that they signed him to the practice squad.
They did. Yep.
Okay. So you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings there. Always protect the quarterback because you've only got 3 guys. Okay.
Right. They're valuable. Got to have that guy.
Obviously. Yeah. Looking at the rest of them, I mean, to be honest with you, JP.
I mean, they all got there, so it's not like there's – they're there for a reason.
Exactly.
So,
I mean,
they'll figure it out in the next week.
You pick 4.
Okay.
I'll pick 4.
Okay. We won't
Joe
play
can pick
that.
4. And here's the crazy thing. You could take 8 of the Jaguars scouting staff and say, give me 4. They may come up with different 4s every time.
There you go.
But the biggest thing I think you have to factor in is that where are you light at on your roster?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're light in one particular position, like you're a little light maybe at wide receiver, maybe a little light at running back. So do you protect those guys just because the numbers are a consideration? Probably so. But from a talent standpoint, if there's a guy that you're sitting there going, wow, we got to protect him because we think he's going to be really good, he ain't on the practice squad.
Let's come back in a moment.
No offense to the guys on the practice squad.
Right, but there's a reason.
You're not there yet.
But you could be there. It's not the end of the world.
No, that's
it's
what
a
I'm
good
saying.
place to be.
You're not there yet.
Yeah.
That means that I'm not saying you'll never get there. It's just that you're not there yet.
Plenty ahead. Let's talk defense when we come back.
Cool.
They kept a bunch of dudes on defense. We'll go
a lot of
through
guys, but they did have the one subtraction, Daniel Quale, so they kind of less one dude.
One less dude, yes. We'll break all that down coming up. Check out the official Jaguars podcast network, a free subscription on Apple, iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your pods. Give us a comment and a 5-star rating. And it's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Jaguars Happy Hour is brought to you by TIAA Bank. Turn potential into progress. And by Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Hi, I'm Tito Beverage, founder and master distiller at Titos Handmade Vodka. In 1997, we became the first micro distillery in the state of Texas, and we're still making the same smooth stuff after all these years. We're still cooking in a pot still, working with our dogs by our sides, having fun and tasting batches, and I'm still wearing the same hat, even after all these years. Head over to TitosVodka.com to learn more about what else we're doing the same. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. TitosVodka.com.
Hey Jaguars fans, it's always game on with Dunkin's $2 medium hot or iced coffee Tuesdays for rewards members. The NFL season is more than just what happens on game day. That's why Dunkin' wants to get you through the game week too. During football season, the best call is always Dunkin'. Whether it's the morning after a late night game or getting hyped for the week to come, pick up a cup of your favorite coffee and tackle the day with Dunkin'. Join today and order ahead of the Dunkin' app. Jacksonville Jaguars run on Dunkin'. Exclusions apply. Participation may vary. Limit 1 per week. The Land Rover Defender story began with the simple thought of creating an exceptionally capable off-road vehicle, becoming the go-anywhere, do-anything all-terrain machine. Today, there's a new Land Rover Defender, the toughest and most advanced Land Rover vehicle ever. From the beginning, Land Rover knew the new Defender was capable of great things. Motor Trend's 2021 SUV of the Year is just the latest example. Test drive the new Land Rover Defender today at Land Rover Jacksonville on Atlantic Boulevard, or go to LandRoverJacksonville.com. Land Rover, above and beyond.
Pinpoint, the official signage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, helps business decision makers like you maximize the impact of their brand. Your company's identification, advertising, and even the words you use make an impression on your clients. With Pinpoint as your coach, you can make sure it's a good impression. Pinpoint provides the creative design and production services for anything you need to enhance your brand, from custom signage to complete marketing solutions. Step up your game with Pinpoint and create the ultimate brand experience for your clients. Visit experiencepinpoint.com. Headquartered right here in Jacksonville, CSI Companies is one of the fastest growing workforce solutions companies in the nation. As a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars, CSI has the resources necessary to scale with any enterprise, yet they are small enough to maintain the agility, personal service, and remarkable experience they've become known for over the past 3 decades. This is your workforce and your business reimagined. Visit CSICompanies.com to learn more.
Jaguars fans, here's a great way to pay with pride wherever you go. Exclusively from TIAA Bank, the Jacksonville Jaguars Visa debit card comes with a fierce look and fantastic features, along with the convenience to make purchases online or at millions of locations worldwide. And it's yours, free, when you open a Yield Pledge checking account. Order yours today. Visit TIAABank.com/JagsCard. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
When Jaguars news breaks, you'll hear about it first on 1010XL, home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on a Thursday afternoon. JP Shadrick with Jaguars analyst Jeff Vloggeman. Glad you're along with us this afternoon. It is the bye before the regular year. Jaguars Game Day broadcasts are presented by ViStar Credit Union. Logs, we were going through numbers, right? And, you know, the initial 53 had many more defensive players than offensive, and we discussed some of that.
Originally it was 29-21, and then since you just had Daniel Equale cut and then you acquired the wide receiver from the Chargers, now it goes to 28-22, 28 defensive players, 22 offensive players, and then 3 specialists.
Bunch of defensive linemen.
Quite a bit, and obviously with
13 guys.
Yeah, that's a lot. But I mean, here you're talking about 7 positions, right?
If you count the outside linebacker guys,
if you're talking base.
That's right.
But in reality, if you're thinking in terms of, okay, the National Football League is now 65% of nickel, it goes down to that's now 4 positions, right?
Sure. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Playing a
Okay.
4-1, 4-2, right? Playing nickel or dime.
Mm-hmm.
So from that standpoint, yeah, I thought that number was kind of high. I thought maybe, in my mind, I thought Sidney Jones was going to make it and that they would have 1 less defensive lineman possibly because you'd want to have the corner. Corners are hard to find. but you got a draft pick for a guy that you never gave up anything to get in the first place.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's positive. He didn't have a great preseason. You've got Burns on the practice squad, who's a young guy that, if the reason he's there, you think maybe he can turn into something. And then I think there's also the possibility, because I will say this, they used the term fluid.
Yeah, they did. It's a fluid situation.
And that's the right term, because things could change in 5 minutes. Okay? You could end up cutting 2 defensive linemen and adding a wide receiver or running back and then maybe a defensive player at cornerback.
Mm-hmm.
So you just don't know what's going to happen. That's why there's going to be a lot of watching the news release, press release, reading all the different media outlets, following Twitter. I know you're a big Twitter guy.
As are you.
Yeah, I'm a huge Twitter guy.
Twitter guy. Jeff Logman, at Logs56, right? And then
yeah, that's right, at Logs56.
You tweet all the time.
Nonstop, yeah.
It's a problem.
I'm just knee-deep in it.
We needed to talk to you about that.
I got a problem. I need some help.
Quit tweeting. Cold turkey, just stop.
So, I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting. I'm glad that they got the third the third quarterback. I mean, that's a positive. It didn't surprise me about the lower number of the wide receivers.
Yeah.
We got excited about a lot of guys at different times.
Yes, we did.
But was there anything that made you continue to go, oh yeah, the next week, oh yeah,
right.
Dorsett, oh yeah, Treadwell, oh yeah.
They all had moments.
They had moments.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and moments ain't what the game's about. Consistency is what the game is about, and that's why these guys have bounced around a little bit. And can they provide you with some big plays at some point? Hopefully, because they're on the practice squad and they're probably going to have to play for you at some point. But did they warrant being on the active roster? No. The concern, though, is that the guys that you have on the active roster, there has not been a whole lot of continuity because they all haven't been practicing.
That's right. I talked about it earlier with Chark's been out. The starting 3 really haven't been on the field together. And then the other 3 guys are on the roster, but they've kind of come and gone. It's a weird.
The good thing is as we saw, you played the DJ interview early on, and we heard him say that he's practicing now. So, I mean, that's a positive. And can you develop chemistry in a short amount of time? That's difficult to do. It really is. It's really difficult to do. So
I feel like they had some in the offseason, though, Chark and those guys.
Yeah,
but that's a long time ago.
Yeah, but you know what, JP? Think about it in terms of the greatness that we've witnessed in the league when there's real chemistry between guys. I mean, real chemistry. And when I always sit there and I go, okay, what's greatness? Well, who do you look at? Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And who do you listen to? Tom Brady. And he takes this rookie draft pick that he's got over there in Tampa Bay this year, and he's taking this guy everywhere he's going because he said, look, I gotta count on this guy. He is going to be a contributor for us. Because the Tom Brady that we've seen before, which we had the opportunity to watch it firsthand up in New England when the Jaguars went up there to practice, if you're not one of Tom Brady's guys, you don't practice with him.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, because he doesn't want to build chemistry with some guy, okay, that's not going to be around.
I thought you were going to say something else there.
I was thinking about it. But I thought
you're being nice today.
Better. Yes. Okay, he wants to practice with guys that he's actually going to play with because he wants to build chemistry with those guys. And so with Trevor Lawrence, this is going to be a little bit of a challenging year because he's a rookie. And then on top of that, how much time has he had to build chemistry with the starters? That's going to be an interesting watch. But he's a talented player, and I'm sure he's going to figure out the best way that he can and the fastest way that he can to develop chemistry with them.
Jaguars kept 5 safeties, Logs.
They're all good players.
Cisco, Ford, Jenkins, Thomas, and Wingard.
All good players. All good players. I like them all. And you know what?
And Urban actually said they felt all 8 safeties that were in camp are going to be NFL players.
I thought that Jared Wilson was worthy of a roster spot.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't a big fan of Josh Jones.
He's been around the league a minute. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's had some things in the past that's affected his ability to be an effective player, and has not been a smart player at times. But the safety, I mean, these guys are good now. And here's, I think, one thing that I think Trent Baalke gets because you have 2 weeks, okay, now you've got this window. And what can still happen? Okay, fluidity, right?
No, absolutely.
And fluidity means cut a guy, claim a guy, trade a guy, okay? And trades certainly are a possibility. And so when you get down to 53, you're trying to protect because you have 2 weeks. You're not thinking quite yet about game day. You are in the back of your mind.
You always are, but it's still a little ways out.
But it's still, you still got a little time. Yeah. So I think in the front of your mind, if you're a general manager in the National Football League now, this year, as opposed to other years, you're thinking about where's the value at? Who can I keep that's going to give me so even safety, and safety is a perfect example. Okay, you've got 5 guys there, and in reality you had 6. You could have kept all 6, and you could have said, hey, I got 6 guys here and all these guys are worthy of a roster spot. Somebody may want one of my safety because this is where we're pretty good at, and I've got a week to figure things out. I've got a week to make some phone calls, put some feelers out that maybe I can help my running back position out. Maybe I can help my wide receiver position out because this guy, some of these guys that I have at safety, I think some teams are going to want them and via trade. So I think from that standpoint, I think it almost would change how general managers would approach this year's final 53 a little bit. And that you're going to make sure that you protect your best 53, okay? I got my arms around all my 53 guys because I know I like these guys and I covet them and these guys got value. I'm not quite ready for my game day roster yet. I know I'm a little weak at running back. I know I'm a little weak at wide receiver. Okay, that's okay because I got 2 weeks because I like these guys. They got value. And then I might take one out because somebody else is going to take one out of theirs, so you might make a little swap. So stay tuned. Fluidity.
For those listening on radio and not watching this, Jeff is quite a dramatic actor. I'll say that.
It was like
he's bringing all the chips into his side there.
Yeah, but I wasn't thinking chips. I was thinking like food. I'm protecting my food.
Growling at people. Get away from my safeties. Plenty to get to. We'll come back in a moment with the injury report. There's been an addition since we've come on the air today. To that, unfortunately, a little Trevor Lawrence talk and the weekend ahead, including a lot of ticket sales going on here at TIAA Bank Field for a game not involving the Jaguars. And if you're looking for the MVP of the truck game, then look no further than Ford F-150, loaded with impressive capability and designed to dominate work, play, and everything in between. This truck makes tough look easy. No wonder it's the official truck of the NFL and proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars, and it's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Hi, I'm Tito Beverage, founder and master distiller at Titos Handmade Vodka. In 1997, we became the first micro distillery in the state of Texas, and we're still making the same smooth stuff after all these years. We're still cooking in a pot still, working with our dogs by our sides, having fun and tasting batches, and I'm still wearing the same hat, even after all these years. Head over to TitosVodka.com to learn more about what else we're doing the same. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. TitosVodka.com.
Hi folks, Frank Frangie here to tell you where to find the most authentic Southern Pit barbecue in all of Jacksonville. That's right, Bono's. For 72 years, Bono's has been smoking real pit barbecue right here on the First Coast. Smoked for hours, served in minutes, and always cut to order. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at TIAA Bank Field. Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. If you want great barbecue, head to Bono's today. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Committed to the team. Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. So our policies have no fine print and no military service restrictions. We don't work on commission. We're nonprofit, so we pass the savings along to our members. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org. Navy Mutual. Ensuring those who serve.
So, it's happy hour. Let's talk whiskey options. Have you tried Citrus Distillers? Have you tried Citrus Distillers Limited Edition 2021 Barrel-Aged Jaguar Whiskey? Did you know it's only available for a limited time and manufactured in Jacksonville? Yes, Jacksonville. I said local whiskey. Try it on the rocks or in a Jack's Whiskey Sour. Citrus Distillers Jaguars Whiskey is available at local liquor stores, restaurants, and the Jaguar Stadium. Drink local, Jacksonville. Find recipes and events at jaguarswhiskey.com.
Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we built the trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 44 years straight. Built for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't built for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2020 calendar year total sales.
Jacksonville Sports Talk for Jacksonville sports fans. 1010XL, home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on a Thursday afternoon. It's an early bye, if you will. JP Shadrick with Jeff Lageman. Let's take a look at the Daly's Place schedule. There aren't many bye weeks left for Daly's Place. It's about to get hot and heavy, Logs. Tomorrow, Chris Tomlin, Kerry Jobe, and Bethel Music Tour. Rod Wave, September 9th. Sam Hunt, September 10th. Trippie Redd, September 18th. Alice Cooper's on the schedule a little later. Santana. We got Zach Brown Band. Tickets at dailysplace.com.
I wonder if, like on the September 12th, when the Saints and the Packers are going to be playing here at TIAA Bank Field, okay?
Yes.
Could they put the Jaguars-Texans game on like a big giant screen inside Daly's Place?
That's a good question, yeah. Because it's a 1 o'clock kick, and then the Saints and Packers is 4:25.
Yeah, I mean, if I was a Jaguar fan and they had if they said, hey, look, we're putting the Jaguars game up in the stadium at different places, I'd be like, all right, cool, man. I'm going to go watch the Jaguars play in Houston at the stadium here in town. And then after we partied up and watched them, then I'm going to go watch Aaron Rodgers take on the New Orleans Saints, right? That'd be cool.
Interesting idea.
Yeah.
I wonder, we'll have to look into that and see.
I think that'd be a pretty cool day to doubleheader football. I mean, of course, you have all the monitors with updates and stuff from all the other games.
Red zone.
But if you had a dedicated
Sure.
big giant screen to the Jaguars game inside Daly's Place, man, I'm going to find me a seat.
Let's take a look at the injury report presented by Baptist Health, changing healthcare for good, and Dylan Moses on the active non-football injury list. That seems like a longer-term play. Injured reserve updated a moment ago. Travis Etienne Jr. and Terry Godwin done for the year. Tavon Austin was added today with a quad issue. He went down on the practice field last week.
In different categories for those guys, okay? Because Etienne and Godwin are on IR for the year. Correct? They were put on IR before the 53 was made.
That's right.
Okay, Tavon Austin was a part of the final 53, and now he was put on it after the 53 was determined. So now he is going to be on what I call the short-term IR. He can play in a couple weeks. Okay, so that's a good thing. And then A.J. can obviously, once he comes off the COVID list, they will have to release somebody from the roster to open the spot back for him.
There you go.
Because he does not count against the final 53 being on the COVID list right now.
That's right. So there are some changes to come whenever that happens.
Fluid.
It is right. That's the definition of fluid. That's what we have right now. There's your injury report presented by Baptist Health, changing healthcare for good. You mentioned the Packers-Saints game. The Saints earlier today put out the ticket information for that game. Saints are still running the game. From the way I understand it, the Jaguars staff are helping them as the primary ticket sales force here in the stadium. Presale is open for Saints season ticket holders and Saints and Jaguars suite holders right now. Presale for the Saints priority wait list is at 7 o'clock tonight, Eastern time. General public on sale tickets for this game in week 1 here at TIAA Bank Field. That's tomorrow, 11 o'clock Eastern time. Purchase at Ticketmaster.com. That's the preferred method. Or you can call the Jaguars ticket office, 904-633-2000. The Saints in their announcement today said, there's so many people, Saints ticket holders affected in New Orleans area, obviously, and they may or may not have access to internet or Ticketmaster.com or their phone, but if you have a way and want to come to the game, you can still call the Jaguars ticket office, 904-633-2000. Parking will be available, first come, first serve, but it's $30 per vehicle in the lots associated with TIAA Bank Field.
There's going to be, I think, Saints and Packers fans coming from, 400-mile radius.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think it's going to be awesome. I mean, what a great opportunity for them that, instead of driving all the way to Wisconsin, if somebody's living in, let's say, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, whatever, like, hey, man, let's go.
Yeah,
let's go check a game out. It's right down there in Jacksonville. I think it would be a lot of fun. And again, if you can tune into the Jaguars game somehow, if that's going to be in the stadium at a place and going to be dedicated to the Jaguars game until kickoff happens with the Saints and the Packers, that would make it, I think, a very attractive opportunity.
I'll say this, the Saints and Packers only roll through here once every 4 years, right? The rotation of the schedule.
Aaron Rodgers.
It's Rodgers. Could be his last year in Green Bay.
How many more chances may you get to see Aaron Rodgers in a Packers uniform? Okay, and let me just say this. Kudos to the Jaguars for offering up the stadium and the city and helping the Saints out because, I mean, wow. I mean, what a tremendous tough situation that the Saints staff, the Saints fans are in with Ida having gone through there and created a lot of havoc. And so, I mean, it's a great gesture on behalf of the Jaguars, because they're helping do this.
Yep.
And there's a lot of staff members on the Jaguars that are going to help this work. Okay, they're going to be putting in some OT to help this Saints organization and help people see football. And that's credit to them and kudos to them.
That's ticket sales, like we just mentioned. The staff here is the primary sales staff for the Saints for this game, and then in stadium entertainment people as well. I mean, there was a big call today to figure out how and who's going to run what, and it's still, those conversations will go all the way through next week too. But it'll be interesting. But yeah, I mean, and the way I read it, the league wanted the game in an NFL stadium because of, especially because of the instant replay. They have to have the wire to New York.
Main reason why, yeah, that's they want to have all games in NFL stadiums.
Yeah.
And
remember in Katrina, right after Katrina, this is obviously 2004 or 5. They played a game at Tiger Stadium, Baton Rouge at one point, and then went to San Antonio and played in the Alamo Dome. They were moving around a bunch of different places, and now we'll see what happens. They only have one more home game in the next 6 weeks, the Saints. So we'll have to look at. I haven't looked at the schedule.
Who knows where that's going to end up being?
No idea. But they're just trying to get through week 1.
But I think it's a pretty unique opportunity.
No doubt. So the Jaguars that week will be in Houston against the Texans.
First start ever for a guy by the name of Trevor Lawrence.
I've heard of him. It's going to be a big day for Jaguars fans. We've been waiting on this for a long, long time around this organization, just to see somebody like that suit up and run out of the tunnel.
I mean, he looked good in Dallas. I mean, really good. And that was, when Urban talked about prior to the game, he said, we want to try to get a taste of success, experience success, find rhythm, get tempo, all these things that you're trying to do leading up to the first regular season game. And I think that confidence, from a confidence standpoint, and, a lot of people say, well, and some of the guys that I work with, the Cowboys didn't play 30 guys, didn't dress 35 guys.
Who? Some of the guys you work with. Who? Name names.
You and Boselli and Dempsey. And,
Urban Meyer, he said that too.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I don't care if you're playing against guys that, they sat 30 of them. Confidence is a good thing.
Urban said that also.
And so, and even if you're playing against, what was the high school you went to?
Hewitt Trussville High School.
Hewitt?
Hewitt.
Hewitt. Okay, even if you're playing the Hewitt
Huskies.
Okay, if you're playing the Huskies, I don't care if you're playing them.
Red and gray.
If you have some success, it builds confidence. And so that's good for the Jaguars offense heading into the regular season. I think the defense continued to do some solid things and probably less impressive because there wasn't as many weapons out there, and it was very obvious that the quarterback play for the Cowboys was not very good, and that was partly due to the Jaguars' defensive performance. But to see the offense of the Jaguars have some rhythm and have some success was really good. In fact, JP.
Oh boy.
He's
going to the helmet, folks.
There was.
If you're watching on Jaguars.com, he's pulled a helmet off the shelf behind him, and it is in front of him, and he's about to demonstrate something.
Well, and the reason I put this up here, and for those that are just listening on the radio, I get it. Okay, it's a Jaguars helmet that has two pieces or two stripes of athletic tape going down the middle.
From the forehead to the back of the head.
Right.
Yeah.
Like a mohawk.
Yes.
Okay. And the reason that I have this up here is that the Jaguars quarterbacks actually throughout training camp actually wore this on their helmets. They had two pieces of athletic tape like a mohawk stripe going down the helmet.
Right.
The reason that they had that is because, and I give the Jaguars coaching staff credit, I have never seen, seriously, and I'm not joking, I've been in the National Football League since 1989. I've never seen coaches do this on a helmet.
In the NFL?
Never. And what does it mean? What is it for? A lot of people may be asking.
Yeah.
A quarterback's eyes are not everything, but they're a big part of the game. And there's two plays that I was able to watch on film that were extremely impressive, and that you could tell that the focus and concentration on this white stripe of the helmet in practice paid off for Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars. Okay? And I drew one of them last night, and that played on Wired. Okay? You remember the long pass? Oh, it's a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
You remember the long pass to Philip Dorsett?
I do.
And it was to Trevor Lawrence's right.
Yes, it was.
If you watch on film, when Trevor Lawrence is getting the ball in his hands, the first thing he does, because they're kind of showing cover two, the first thing he does is to stare at the one safety that's buzzing back to the middle third to play a single high safety. Why is he staring at him? He's trying to get him to move back into that deep middle.
Mm-hmm.
And so he uses his eyes to move that safety into the deep middle. What does that do? It left room for the one-on-one with Philip Dorsett against the corner on the right side. And so what Trevor Lawrence does, he gets the snap, he drops back, and he's staring at the safety right down the middle of the field. He's wanting to draw him into the middle of the field. He knows where he's going. He doesn't need to look over there to the right. He wants to make sure that that safety is not going to be a factor. Stares him down right in the middle, brings him into the middle, and then turns, once he hits his back foot, turns to the right, sees that, okay, he's got a little step on him, and he launches the ball to the right, and he drops it halfway between the numbers and the boundary, which is the only place that his wide receiver can make a play out of the outstretched arms of the cornerback. So a couple things. One, guiding the safety with his eyes, and that relates to this helmet thing because he's making sure that he moved the safety, but then balls placement. It's a great job. I mean, and that's what this is. And tonight on Jaguars All Access, there was another play that he used his eyes also. It was the touchdown to Pharoh Cooper.
Yes.
Okay, and on that play, he uses his eyes. He drops back, okay, and he stares down Pharoh Cooper to the left, okay? And you can see the head turned on the left.
Because of the stripe.
From the end zone view behind Trevor Lawrence.
Yep.
Okay, and the stripe's not wearing it
well,
again.
not in the game.
Okay, but visually, we're thinking we're seeing a stripe. He's staring Pharoh Cooper down. The safety actually sees him staring Pharoh Cooper down, so he actually starts to run up towards that wide receiver. And then the corner saw Trevor Lawrence staring down Pharoh Cooper as well, but he takes his eyes off of Trevor immediately because he saw the stare down. Now he's looking at the wide receiver. Cooper runs an out route. Okay, now Cooper's eyes actually come into play. He turns to look back at Trevor Lawrence. When he does, he tries to undercut the out route. What happens next? The fake pump by Trevor Lawrence, which the corner doesn't see, but it doesn't matter because Pharoh Cooper turns up, and it's an out and up.
Got him.
It was a total setup.
Got him. Now, the real trick is going to be putting that kid-size helmet on your head right now.
I'm not going to do that.
Is that possible?
No, this will not fit me.
When was the last time you wore a helmet? We want to see this on Jaguars.com.
It was back in when I wore a helmet, JP. That was just 1998.
You haven't put one on since then?
No.
And that one, I wouldn't
helmets
recommend.
Helmets of today, by the way,
I wouldn't recommend
better.
that one for.
But seriously, and all joking aside,
yes,
I've been in the league, okay, in some way, shape, or form since 1989. And I've never seen coaches use this stripe on a helmet to really work on a quarterback's eyes. And I think that that's fantastic. It's a great way to teach, and it's a great way to teach a young quarterback.
Good stuff. We'll come back in a moment. The network hour of Jaguars Happy Hour is coming up next, and this is Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
This is Jaguars Happy Hour. Former Jaguar Jeff Lageman and JP Shadrick provide the latest Jaguars news and what's happening around the NFL. Jaguars Happy Hour begins right now.
Welcome in. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on a Thursday afternoon. Glad you're along with us on the Jaguars Radio Network on a mini bye week before the regular season next weekend. JP Shadrick with Jaguars analyst Jeff Lageman. And good afternoon, Jeff.
Good afternoon or evening.
No, it's 5 o'clock.
It's evening.
No, it's afternoon.
Evening.
When does evening start? 6:30?
Afternoon.
7?
You might be in Houston.
Night is what, 10 and later?
When you get older, evening comes sooner.
We got an hour to Google this. I think we'll look it up here in a minute.
GTS.
So we got
Google that.
A lot going on, of course, this week. The final roster cuts, not the final roster, but the final cut to 53. They've added some practice squad players. They claimed a wide receiver logs from the Los Angeles Chargers.
They did.
A lot of moving parts, a lot of fluidity going on for the Jaguars roster these days.
I got 15 on the practice squad.
That's
according
correct.
to my count right now.
They
You're
added
allowed
2 today.
Yeah, and so 15 is where they're at now.
That's right.
With the 2 additions, which is Kyle Auletta, the quarterback, and Matt Sokol.
Tight end, yep.
Tight end. I think I pronounced that correctly.
That's
so
right.
that gives you essentially, and here's the thing, you have 1 practice squad spot available. When A.J. Cann comes back to the active roster, you're going to have to release somebody, so that might be your 16th person on the practice squad.
There you go.
Possibly.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
A lot of time
I don't know
now.
when he would come back. I mean, I don't know what the situation is with A.J. Cann, but he's your starting right guard, and he will be back. And hopefully he's okay. In this COVID world we live in, it just doesn't seem sometimes to have any rhyme or reason as to who it impacts if he in fact has it. And when we found out with Josh Allen, he didn't have it.
Right.
But if A.J. has it, hopefully everything's okay.
So George Warhop this week seemed to indicate that he felt all 5 offensive linemen would be ready to go for week 1. So
Better be.
AJ, yeah.
I mean, it's game time.
Yeah, let's go.
It's time to be game ready, whether you're game ready or not.
Especially with this week off to kind of get things really right going in. And it's a new one. There's no 4th preseason game, so there's a little added time to get some things right, to get those little nicks, those little injuries healed and ready to go for week 1.
The 4th preseason game was just, it was painful. Seriously, think about it. What the 4th preseason game had become.
Well, it depends on your outlook. Obviously, for the guys trying to fight for a roster spot, it was an important piece of their equation. But in terms of, no frontline guys a lot of times, and that is not going to be like preseason week 3.
Well, and I think the NFL did the right thing. In that, okay, let's say with this 3-17 format, 3 preseason games, 17 regular season games, okay, that they decided not to have what they did create this year, which is the 2-week window of, between the last preseason game weekend and then opening weekend. Let's say they just did it like normal.
Yeah.
And then you had only that 10 days, because usually everything was played like by Thursday night in the last preseason week. Let's say they did that. Instead of having the 2-week period. What do you think the 3rd preseason game would have become?
Week 4.
It would have become
right.
week 4, and they didn't play anybody.
Yeah.
So the NFL was smart, in some respect, to go ahead and to make sure that you had this bigger window between the last preseason game and the opener, so that you can get your team healthy, and you can also have teams have more interesting preseason games. I mean, JP, the Jaguars-Dallas Cowboys game, I was entertained. It was typically in the last preseason week. It's like, can we get this game over with?
Yeah, I mean, you're entertained because the quarterback looked good, and they were moving the ball down the field, and there was the intrigue of, they don't have offensive linemen. Is he going to play or not? And then he runs out there, and here we go.
No, it was good. It was good. It was a good last showing. Gained some confidence going in the regular season. I don't care if it's against a bunch of backup scrubs for the Dallas Cowboys. Having success is having success, and it's a positive feeling as a player, and it's great to have a positive feeling as a team, especially when you're trying to build that cohesion, to have that momentum. And it's not a ton of momentum because you create that also when you get in the regular season, but it does create confidence, a belief that, hey, we can do this. And if you haven't done it, how do you believe you're going to do it sometimes? I mean, sometimes you got to have some positivity to give you that encouragement. Oh, yeah, we're headed in the right direction. Let's just keep working.
Yeah, the starting offense in the first 2 games had a total of 0 touchdowns until finally preseason week 3. It's
you
something
get 2. That's good.
That was
way
nice.
to finish.
That was a great way to finish. The cuts down to 53. Were there any surprise cuts for you?
No. I mean, the only one I think that was maybe a little bit surprising was Jared Wilson. I thought that Jared Wilson would be your starter at safety until Andre Cisco showed you that he was completely ready. I think that they believe that he's completely ready. And they haven't said anything to me. They haven't said anything publicly that Cisco's going to be the starter. But I can tell you this, if you want to get the player that has maybe some of the best ball skills out of your entire secondary on the field to get interceptions, by the way, you didn't get an interception or a takeaway at all in the preseason, so you need to find a way to get it, okay? You play Andre Cisco. This guy has great ball skills. He had a ton of interceptions and plays on the ball in college at Syracuse prior to him having the injury to his knee. And from what I can tell, he looks like he is ready to go. He looks healthy.
A bunch of stats. I mean, 8 tackles in the preseason. He was credited with 2 passes defense. I think you could probably give him more than that. He seemed to be all around the football. Had a quarterback hit. Had a tackle for loss. I mean, the guy was everywhere.
Yeah, I think he is. Look, here's the reality. If Andre Cisco does not tear his knee up, and he plays the whole year, he's a first-round pick.
Just because of the ability to be around the football.
Yeah, no, if you're just a tackling safety, you're not going to be a first-round pick.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you're a safety that when you have an opportunity, you get your hands on the ball and intercept them, that has value. And so that's why he would have been probably a first-round pick if he didn't have the injury to his knee.
Guy had 13 interceptions.
How many games?
In 23 games.
How about that number?
Over 3 seasons.
What's that ratio, JP?
I don't know. It's good. I was told there would be no math tonight, Logs, but I'll take that all day long. We've got plenty to get to. Let's come back in a moment. We'll hear from George Warhop.
Okay.
He'll discuss the rookie tackle. We'll get into the
Walker Little.
You've heard of him.
He's pretty good. He's got a ways to go yet, though.
Well, that George Warhop might have a similar thought about that.
Okay.
We'll find out when we come back. You can check out the official Jaguars Podcast Network. This program archived right after the show. We've got Jaguars reporters this week, the Huddle Up Pod with Bucky Brooks, and give us that 5-star rating. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Radio Network.
Jaguars fans, here's a great way to pay with pride wherever you go. Exclusively from TIAA Bank, the Jacksonville Jaguars Visa debit card comes with a fierce look and fantastic features, along with the convenience to make purchases online or at millions of locations worldwide. And it's yours, free, when you open a Yield Pledge checking account. Order yours today. Visit TIAABank.com/JagsCard. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hi, I'm Tito Beverage, founder and master distiller at Titos Handmade Vodka. In 1997, we became the first micro distillery in the state of Texas, and we're still making the same smooth stuff after all these years. We're still cooking in a pot still, working with our dogs by our sides, having fun and tasting batches, and I'm still wearing the same hat, even after all these years. Head over to TitosVodka.com to learn more about what else we're doing the same. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. TitosVodka.com.
Jaguars fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com. the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and Jaguars players you love. Shop the most trusted brands, exclusive designs by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars. Join Fanatics Rewards today and earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
Any repeated physical activity puts stress on the body. Checking your phone, getting in the car, sitting at your desk, checking the phone, getting in your car, sitting at your desk, checking your phone for the 50th time today. If you do anything with regularity, you should get massaged with regularity. Massage Envy. Keep your body working.
Regular body work makes the body work with massage, skincare, and stretch. Come in today for more information or visit massageenvy.com for more details.
I think Walker's performed like most rookies perform. I think in some instances he's done really well. In some instances he struggled a little bit, and most of his struggles are really just putting himself in position to win, right? And that's getting used to playing the game at this speed and at this level. I made the statement before about Walker. I think he's the most prepared young guy I've had, and I still stand by that. But there's still a process involved, right? For a guy to come out of college to come into this league and have to play left tackle, unless you're, a top 5 pick, and even those guys struggle playing left tackle, is a work in progress.
George Warhop, the offensive line coach, and Walker Little, the second-round pick out of Stanford, the 2021 NFL Draft. Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. JP Shadrick with Jeff Lageman. Glad you're along with us this afternoon on the Jaguars Radio Network. And, that was a question during Warhop's presser the other day, but the real notable news is that he's expecting, or it sounds like he feels like all 5 offensive linemen will be ready to roll week 1 against the Houston Texans, and Walker Little will not be one of those. So Cam Robinson, Andrew Norwell, Brandon Linder, A.J. Cann whenever he comes off the COVID list, and then Jawan Taylor. There's your 5. Let's go.
Yeah, and that's good. I mean, you hope that they can play well. I think the concern with that offensive line is still the concern that we had last year. The interior 3 are pretty good. Okay, and when I say the interior 3, I don't care if you have Brandon Linder at center or Tyler Shatley at center. You're pretty good, pretty stout. The tackles in the moment of truth need to hold up better than they did last year. And we've seen moments at times, again, moments this preseason, to where that kind of reared its head again.
You're talking more in the pass game, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Because that's how you win games. How many games last year did they have an opportunity to win towards the end, and the protection just couldn't hold up?
A key moment. You're right.
Green Bay?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the one that really stands out, and that the protection couldn't hold up. Mm-hmm. And it was from the tackles. So that is something I think that will be watched very closely all year. And when you have a young prospect like a Walker Little, all fans, it's natural. And I'm sure even some coaches have it in the back of their mind. Hey, look, can we get this young guy on the field to help us be better? Whether it be left tackle, right tackle. And I don't know what his ability to play right tackle is. I haven't seen him play a game at right tackle yet. But, I mean, that's certainly in the back of your mind. And listening to Coach George Warhop, he was correct in saying that all rookies have an adjustment period at playing left tackle, and there's no doubt. And here's the other thing and he didn't even mention this, but it's kind of wild to me. Walker Little didn't play football in 2020.
That's right.
Okay, the school opted not to play, and then when they decided to play, it was so late in the year that Walker Little opted out and said it's getting too close to the time where I'm going to start getting ready for an NFL draft. So he opted not to play at the end. And so I don't say, well, he opted out. I say the school opted out.
It was Pac-12 issue. Yes,
okay?
the conference opted out.
Yes, the conference opted out. By the time they decided to get their stuff together, they tried to come back. It's too late for him to play, and he did the right thing there. He played one game in 2019 and then had the injury to his knee. Okay? So think about that. One football game in 2 years. And now he comes back, he's come out into the NFL, and he's doing pretty good. And there's some things he's got to work on his feet, and he's continue to need to get better. and his hands need to be better. He comes a little low sometimes with his hands low to high, and which is fine if you're coming up, but he kind of comes in just too low and stays low. But a lot of those things will come to him, and the more reps that he gets, the better it is. And in preseason was a great experience for him, and I'm glad that he got the opportunity to start the last 2 preseason games. That was good work for him.
He played a long time in week 3. I know that.
Played almost the whole game.
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, that's good. I mean, let him play it all. I mean, get him ready. Get him as many reps as you can. Because, here's the reality. Until Cam Robinson falters, he's not going to play for a while. So the opportunity to play in the preseason, that was good for him.
Just going through the double check. Yeah, he played 85% of the snaps. So that's a great opportunity.
He came out the very end of the game, and because I remember this, it was against the Saints, and Garrett McGinn goes in, and Garrett just turns into an absolute turnstile, and ended up getting released after that game, and then they brought somebody else in, and so I mean he played nearly the entire game, and he played almost the entire game in Dallas. So I mean 2 games of nearly playing a full game. That's good, great reps, great experience.
Obviously, this offense ran the ball effectively for the most part last season. James Robinson had a great year, and it was. Considering everything that they couldn't do on offense, that made it that much more special for Robinson's season, and he missed 2 games at the end of the year. So you're bringing that line back in the run game. You're adding Chris Manhertz, who we haven't seen a lot of in the preseason, and there's a reason for that. They didn't want to put him out there and risk that, Urban said, he's a big piece of what they're going to do, certainly in the run game.
Mm-hmm.
So there will be a dedication to running the football around here, even still with the new quarterback and bells and whistles on the outside. This is still an offense that they feel they can turn around and hand it off and go run.
Well, in a perfect world, you'd have that balance of being a team that goes, okay, we're gonna pound it, and you can line up with 8 in the box, and we're still going to run it effectively. Are you going to be able to do that? I hope so, because if you can, that would help out a young quarterback.
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying that Trevor Lawrence is an average young quarterback. Does he need, the pacifier to where they run the ball 75% of the time? No, but he needs a good running game to help him along. It would help anybody along. So
balances it out, keeps the defense honest, the whole thing. Right?
Well, and here's the one thing that we haven't seen yet, and I think that we'll see some of it in the regular season, because I think the game changes a little bit. The read option game now becomes real, because it really wasn't real in the preseason. We had the read option handoff.
Yeah, I don't even think we really saw him truly keep off that, did we?
We never had a keeper off of it.
In a game.
And we have not seen a read option pass.
Yeah.
We know it's in there.
Right. Did you watch Clemson at all the last 3 years?
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's there.
Yeah.
And you're not going to just do it in the preseason to put him at risk. But now that it's the regular season, well, the stakes are a little bit higher. These ones count. They're keeping score. Okay, Trevor, we're going to have you keep it on this one, but be smart.
Or, read it, and if it's not there, that's what it's designed to do. It's an option.
Be smart.
Do what's there.
Be smart.
Yeah, and slide sometimes.
And I think you have to, and I think that's going to be something that I think if I was a coach and I was a play caller, that's one of those things where you're just going, is the risk reward? What do we do? Do you really want to put him out there, to take maybe an extra hit running the? So I mean, I really think as a play caller, I would be conflicted, because you want to protect him, keep him in the pocket, but in the back of your mind, you're sitting there going, well, we can be so much better if he really is a running threat.
Oh.
And he's good at it.
Oh, sure he is. Yeah.
He's good at it.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be really interesting once we get in the regular season. When this team travels to Houston, what will the offense look like? How much will Trevor be a threat to run the football? How will this offense really look? Because in the preseason, do you really think we saw a lot of what it's going to be? I mean, we saw the meat and potatoes, but did we see a lot of the good stuff? I don't think so.
No. Plenty ahead. We'll come back and hear from Josh Lambo, the kicker, spoke today. And we'll get a little defensive talk. And I want to get in your head of how you prepare for a week one opponent that you don't know who the quarterback's going to
Well,
be.
you know who the quarterback's going to be, JP. Come on.
Well, we'll find out in a moment.
It's not going to be Deshaun Watson.
It's Jaguars Game Day broadcasts are presented by ViStar Credit Union. We'll find out who Logs thinks it's going to be when we come back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on Jaguars Radio.
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh. She's doing great.
Oh, yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
A lot has changed in 60 years, but there's one thing that remains the same. Our commitment to our customers and to our community. There's no place like Jacksonville, and there's no place like Gate. Thank you for allowing us to serve you, past, present, and future. Now through August 31st, Jags fans can enjoy 2 of your favorite roller grill items for just $2 at participating Gate locations. Get them while they're hot. Gate, serving up more.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we built the trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 44 years straight. Built for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't built for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2020 calendar year total sales.
Scrubbing soon to a location near you. You know and love the Scrubble Stars at the Town Center, Fleming Island, and Atlantic Beach. Now get ready for 4 new locations scrubbing soon this year, featuring Kernan, San Jose, Racetrack Road, and Oakleaf. Give your car the glitz and glam it deserves at the best car wash in town with free car prep, vacuums, window cleaner, and more. You can also catch us at every Jags home game and cool down at the Scrubby's Misting Arch. Drive in to see us now and in the future at our Scrubbing Soon locations. Scrubbles, trust the bow tie. You'll know quality once you arrive.
You know, it takes a little bit of time. You know, I've never had this situation. I've never come off of a season where I only played 4 games. Now coming into a season with a new coach, now coming into a season with no guaranteed money on my contract. Like, I know how things work around this league. You know, once you get that big number in front of your contract, you have a big old target on your back. And I'm aware of how things work. And so that has fueled me more to, like I said, work harder, do more, watch more film, ask more questions. Because I still think there's a little bit left in the tank.
That's the kicker, Josh Lambo, and welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. JP Shadrick with Jaguars analyst Jeff Lageman. Lambo spoke today with the media after practice, final practice of the week. Players are off through Monday. Why are you holding your head, Logs? What's going on here? What's the problem?
I'm just trying to figure out what having guaranteed money on your contract has anything to do with getting ready to kick for a season.
I think the subject matter was he doesn't have any, and was there concern about his roster status if things aren't going well? I think that's any year things don't go well, right?
I mean, yeah. Like I said, guaranteed money doesn't have anything to do with that. I mean, that's like. I don't understand why does that thought even enter his mind?
Well, I guess the thought.
Okay, so,
I don't. I'm
here's
just trying
the
to.
thing.
I don't need to.
Okay,
analyze
new coach.
Lambo.
Okay. Kicking's the same. The job's the same.
Mm-hmm.
Coming off of a season. Okay, I would totally understand it if he said, "Hey, look, I've got concern because I'm coming back from an injury, and I haven't had to do that before."
I think that was kind of the
idea.
idea.
That would be understandable.
Right.
I've got to find my groove again.
Yeah.
But contract and coaches, I mean, what does that have to do with your job? I mean, I'm sorry, but I mean, that's kind of like, I'm sitting there scratching my head going, what? I mean, come on. Let's go.
Just put it between the pipes, right? I mean, kick the field goal. That's what Urban said, right?
I don't know.
Don't
overcomplicate it. You kick, okay? Okay, contracts take care of themselves. Don't worry about all that. And they thought, okay, I don't have any guaranteed money, and I understand I have a target on my back. And what? No, if you still kick well, then everything's good. Just kick the ball well. That's all you need to worry about. Don't worry about all the other stuff.
Oh, this sounds like
anyway.
Hold on, this sounds like you've got some pent up specialist rage from when you were a defensive lineman.
I did, honest to goodness, and Mike Hollis and Brian Barker will probably tell you this, and Pat Leahy and Joe Prokop will tell you the same thing, which they were different kickers and punters on teams that I was on.
Mm-hmm.
And we always used to bust their chops a little bit.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. We would be, and Brant Boyer, if he was here, he would totally have, and he's a special teams coach of the Jets now, by the way, coordinator. And he used to always do this too. But, we'd be in there and we'd be lifting weights and meetings and doing all this stuff to get ready for games. And Barker and Mike Hollis are out there doing RC cars in the parking lot.
Wow. That's
for real.
Something else.
They're doing remote control cars in the parking lot.
Must be fun.
The life of a kicker,
right?
Or punter.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Of course I was jealous.
Yeah,
I was. I wanted to be out there racing cars.
Who doesn't, right? I like remote control cars.
Yeah, but seriously though, on the note, look, don't worry about your contract. Okay, those things always take care of themselves. Okay. What are you going to do? Have a hold in and not kick? Be here or not? Come on, just kick.
Boy, we struck a nerve tonight with Logs. I did not see that coming. I don't know why I didn't see that coming.
Did you not scratch your head listening to that a little bit?
I just read commercials. I don't know. Let's go to defense. Of course, the defense kept a bunch of defensive linemen. The Jags did on that final cut. 13 now after the cut of Aquale. That's part of the deal. You got the outside linebackers counting that. We'll count those guys, Josh Allen and Caleb on Chason. So why that many?
Well, I think they value the safety position. That's why you got 5 guys there, and they're planning on using the safety position a lot for a dime package. So you're going to have a Rudy Ford maybe playing some linebacker in that dime. You have also some guys that you feel good about. Mm-hmm. When I mentioned earlier, and I'll say this again, when you have 2 weeks from the last preseason game and 2 weeks from, or almost 2 weeks from the time you got to get to 53 to the time you're going to be playing, you're going to make sure, and I'll use my analogy again, JP, okay?
Okay, for those listening on our network, he's, acting us out with his arms.
I'm hugging the food close to me or the chips, as you were talking about. I want to keep the value close to me. I want to keep the guys that have value because I have time to shape the roster to get it ready for game day in the next week, or week plus. So I don't need to worry about, I'm a little light at running back. I'm a little light at wide receiver. I'm heavy at defensive end. I'm heavy maybe at safety. It's okay because I've got some time now to have some conversations with other teams in the next few days to see if they have an interest in some of my value that I have protected here. And I'll get my roster ready at a later date. And also, these are the guys that I feel good about. And I've got practice squad, okay, that's also going to be able to supplement what I really like right here. So I think that's a little bit of the perspective as to why we saw the roster kind of shaped what it is. The expanded rosters give you a lot of leeway. And if you went back to the old roster rules to where you did not have a 16-man practice squad, you probably see general managers acting a little bit differently on this final cut to 53 because in reality, it's not a final cut yet. Between now and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, when you get to game week, you can still shape the roster. You can still make changes.
You do that every week the rest of the season. As Jihad Ward said earlier in training camp, there is no such thing as a 53-man roster in the NFL.
Well, because on the defensive line front, you have Devon Hamilton, Jay Tufele, Taven Bryan, Adam Gotsis, Malcolm Brown, Roy Robertson Harris. That's a lot of guys that are big, immovable objects. I think that's probably too many guys there. Could you end up subtracting one of those guys soon or trading one of these guys soon? I think there's a possibility. Linebackers, are you a little heavy there? Because in reality, if you look at the outside linebacking position, Calevon Chazon, Lorente McCray, Josh Allen, Jod Ward. I've got him as an outside linebacker. Smoot is an outside linebacker.
You can do a few different things.
You got a draft pick, okay, and Jordan Smith, and then you have this first-year guy by the name of Aaron Patrick that's got some athleticism. That's a lot of guys. You're really heavy there. I mean, really heavy. You know, is there somebody there that could end up going to practice squad that you wanted to protect to get to 53 to keep them into this little
in
that little hug group?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because you'd like to keep him, maybe slip him on a practice squad a little bit later on. Could that be maybe a guy like an Aaron Patrick? Sure. You know, so you're definitely heavy at that spot and heavy at the big guys.
Logs tonight on Fox 30 television in Jacksonville, Florida. You have Jaguars All Access Television.
I will be taking this helmet with me, JP.
Okay, this helmet is a Jaguars helmet, black with the cat head on each side, and it has a white stripe from the forehead to the back of the head in the middle, made of athletic tape.
It's just athletic tape, and what it makes the helmet look like, it looks like, you know, who's a big team that has a stripe going down the middle in college football?
I don't know. I mean, Michigan has the winged helmets.
Yeah, they've got
the winged helmets.
Who's got the stripe going down the middle? Penn
State.
State. Okay, Penn State.
White with the blue.
Exactly. Yeah. But this is a thicker stripe because this is actually, it's two pieces of athletic tape making a mohawk going down the helmet. The reason they put this on is the coaches want to be able to, when they watch the film, they want to see how what the quarterback's eyes are doing. And in all my time in the National Football League, and I was talking about this a little bit earlier, I've been in the league since 1989, and I've never seen coaches do this, and I'm surprised I haven't seen this yet, and I never thought of it. I think it's brilliant. And the reason why you do this is because you're trying to train the quarterback's eyes to make sure that he's looking where he needs to look and also not looking where he needs to be looking. For example, in the Cowboys game, Trevor Lawrence did a wonderful job of making sure that when the Dallas Cowboys safety was trying to disguise cover two and then ended up playing man, one of the safeties had to drive to the deep middle. Trevor Lawrence used his eyes. Okay, this is like magic.
Oh.
Okay, this is like Star Trek.
Wow.
He stares at the safety into the middle of the field, and he makes the safety move. He transported the safety from half to the deep middle. Now it leaves open on the right side his wide receiver all alone with a corner. So he waits until the last minute. His eyes are down the field, and this is Trevor Lawrence. Okay, I'm doing this with the helmet. He's looking down the middle of the field, makes the safety get there, and then turns his head to the right, makes sure that he's got the throw, plants and throws it.
Voila.
And because he keeps the head down the middle for a second, that safety cannot get over there to make a play. It keeps it one-on-one. See that? Yeah.
Got him. Got him. Yeah, we're beaming people up now. I can't get past the magic, and then it's like Star Trek. Like it doesn't make man.
You know,
either way,
you know, in sci-fi movies, like a guy will stare at somebody. He's got the like Superman, and Superman could move things. Okay, that's what the quarterback's kind of doing with his eyes. You know, another example on the touchdown throw. Okay.
I don't think Superman can move things with his eyes. I don't know. I haven't watched Superman in a long time.
Superman
Wars,
can
maybe. I don't
anything.
know. We have gone off the rails. That's all I know.
Pharaoh Cooper.
Either way, I can't wait to watch this segment.
I am gonna tonight. Okay, on Jaguar.
How many references are you going to make? On Magicians, Star Wars, Star Trek. I mean, dogs and cats are living together. I mean, we got a lot of stuff going on today.
Hey, JP, I tell you what. Last night on Jaguar, I showed the deep pass to Philip Dorsett where he used his eyes. Tonight on Jaguars All Access, me and Brent Martineau on Fox 30, at 7 o'clock, we will be breaking down the film of the Pharaoh Cooper touchdown, and we will also explain how this Mohawk striped helmet helped Trevor Lawrence on that touchdown play. Tune in.
Wouldn't miss it for the world.
And I will not use the Star Trek reference tonight.
I'm in. You sold me. I'm watching that show tonight.
I can't believe you don't realize that Superman could move things with his eyes. Couldn't he move things with his eyes?
Don't have any idea. I'm sure
he had this, like he could burn things with his eyes.
Check your Twitter. You're on there all the time. People will tell you. Have a great show. We'll talk to you next week.
You got it.
Jeff Loggeman out of here. Plenty more ahead. We'll talk corners, and Chris Claybrooks was mic'd up in preseason week 3. We'll hear that when we come back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Radio Network.
Any repeated physical activity puts stress on the body. Checking your phone, getting in the car, sitting at your desk, checking the phone, getting in your car, sitting at your desk, checking your phone for the 50th time today. If you do anything with regularity, you should get massaged with regularity. Massage Envy. Keep your body working.
Regular body work makes the body work with massage, skincare, and stretch. Come in today for more information or visit massageenvy.com for more details.
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh, she's doing great.
Oh, yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
It's been around longer than your quarterback. When you put it on, everyone knows it's game time. So legendary, it deserves its own Hall of Fame. Members-only jackets. Undeniable quality and style for over 45 years. Scratch and claw your way over to membersonly.com. Get ready for football season with a jacket that can only be summed up in one word: iconic. Use discount code Jaguars at checkout for 35% off on all iconic racer jackets. Members only. When you put it on, something happens. Jaguars fans, here's a great way to pay with pride wherever you go. Exclusively from TIAA Bank, the Jacksonville Jaguars Visa debit card comes with a fierce look and fantastic features, along with the convenience to make purchases online or at millions of locations worldwide. And it's yours, free, when you open a Yield Pledge checking account. Order yours today. Visit TIAABank.com/JagsCard. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Radio Network. Glad you're along with us on this Thursday afternoon. Our thanks to Jeff Lageman for joining us on the program. Check out Jaguars All Access Television tonight, 7 o'clock on Fox 30 television here in Jacksonville. Brent Martineau's involved with that. Jeff Lageman is on the show. Ashlyn Sullivan. It's in the East Club at TIAA Bank Field. And a good time, so check it out. And there'll be plenty of stripes on helmet talk coming up at 7 this evening. Some news coming out, report from Tom Pelissero of NFL Network that veteran tight end Jacob Hollister is expected to sign with the Jaguars, per a source of Pelissero. Hollister had 66 catches and 6 touchdowns over the last 2 years in Seattle, and apparently had several offers after his release by the Bills. So, another addition. It was a position that Urban said that they were still trying to look to do some work with over this preseason training camp. So, Hollister started his career in New England in 2017. He had 4 catches that year, 4 catches in 2018 for New England, and then he goes to Seattle and starts getting in that offense. 41 catches in 2019 for 349 yards, 3 touchdowns, and then last year, 25 catches, 209 yards, 3 touchdowns. So we'll see. Nothing official from the team as of yet on that, but a report just a moment ago about the tight end position for the Jags. So as we talked about all afternoon here, fluidity. It's not over. The 53-man roster was announced on Tuesday, at least for that moment. Then the practice squad can expand that. They made a claim, of course, to bring in another receiver. They're going to have another move when A.J. Cann comes off the reserve COVID-19 list at some point. They're talking about, the report is, of a tight end coming in. It's only just beginning, by the way, because we've got 10 days until kickoff weekend when the Jaguars face the Houston Texans, so a lot more could be done between now and then. We'll come back in a moment and get into the wide receiver room. Bucky Brooks and John Ogier on Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks yesterday. We'll get their thoughts on what the Jaguars have done and could do at that position moving ahead. Secure the best seats at the best price. Become a Jaguars season ticket member today. And visit Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. And it's Jaguars Happy Hour on Jaguars Radio.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, One taste and you're feeling good now, smiling wider now, seeing brighter now. Bucket dunking now, namasteing now. Popping a wheelie now, living lighter now. You're on Tropic Time now. And on Mondays, try our Jaguars Duval Delight Smoothies for $2.99. And you're roaring louder now, end zone dancing now, sipping spirit now. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
Yingling Traditional Lager. The beer for drinkers who know how to tap into their inner eagle and spread their wings. So prepare yourself for takeoff and let your night take flight. When your lips meet that cold, crisp amber lager, there's no looking back. So fly over the radar. Tonight's about the lager, and this lager is all about soaring higher. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings. DJ Yingling & Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please drink responsibly.
Fans like you have been told that going all out is going too far. But fans like you know better. You're the kind of fan who loves the team as much as your pet, who paints yourself for game days and dyes your pet's fur to match. You are a rare breed. You are a pet fanatic, equal parts pet obsessed and diehard sports fan. At Pet Paradise, they're crazy about pets too. The official pet care provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Pet Paradise. It's a new day in pet care.
Scrubbing soon to a location near you. You know and love the Scrubble Stars at the Town Center, Fleming Island, and Atlantic Beach. Now get ready for 4 new locations scrubbing soon this year, featuring Kernan, San Jose, Racetrack Road, and Oakleaf. Give your car the glitz and glam it deserves at the best car wash in town with free car prep, vacuums, window cleaner, and more. You can also catch us at every Jags home game and cool down at the Scrubby's Misting Arch. Drive in to see us now and in the future at our Scrubbing Soon locations. Scrubbles, trust the bow tie. You'll know quality once you arrive.
Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Radio Network. Glad you're along with us this afternoon. JP Shadrick, our thanks to Jeff Lageman joining us earlier. He'll be on Jaguars All Access TV coming up at 7 o'clock tonight, Fox 30 in Jacksonville. Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks airs Wednesday afternoon on Jaguars.com, Jags social media channels as well. Bucky Brooks, NFL Network analyst, the Jaguars preseason television analyst, and our weekly Wednesday afternoon co-host. John Oehser and I join him, and this week we discuss the claim of Tyron Johnson from the Chargers and the practice squad flexibility at the wide receiver position. Bucky, it's all about speed with Tyron Johnson.
They have to be faster on the perimeter. Right now, they have a lot of same speed guys, meaning possession receivers, guys that are chain movers, but they don't have any big play threats. And so when you're scouring the waiver wire, you're looking for something that's different than what you currently have. They want someone who can give them a vertical dimension in the passing game. Maybe Tyron Johnson can be a guy that can help them right away.
Yeah, I thought Bucky hit the nail on the head right there. Right now, the numbers thing that Urban Meyer talked about in the press conference yesterday.
Yeah, it was 5 receivers, 3 running backs.
Concerned about 5 receivers, concerned about 3 running backs. Mm-hmm. So I think people, and I probably fell into this too, automatically assumed, well, they've got those numbers, so they're going to go out and sign or claim waiver players to up those numbers. Well, now that they've gotten those guys through, to them, they've got, 17 wide receivers in the practice squad now, JP? What number was that? But they've got 4 or 5. And to Bucky's point, a lot of those guys are sort of the same kind of guy. They also have Devine Ezigbo and Nathan Cottrell at running back in the practice squad. Those guys will be protected. The numbers issue that Meyer was concerned about yesterday has been solved now that those guys are through to the practice squad. They've got their depth there, I think they believe, so there's not that urgency to go out and necessarily sign a player. I'm a little surprised that they weren't more active on the waiver wire, but they saw this Tyron Johnson, who, as Bucky said, gives them something they didn't have. I guess in retrospect, I'm not surprised they didn't address defense because they kept so many guys that they clearly liked those guys for a reason, or else they wouldn't have kept them. So I don't want to say they're done, but I don't think they're as worried maybe as they were yesterday when those guys were floating out there.
Yeah, and the ability to move guys up and down off that squad, Bucky, gives them some flexibility, gives everybody in the league the flexibility another year.
Also, the expanded practice squad size. 16 guys being able to be on the practice squad, eventually being able to really stockpile the kind of talent that you want. Also, it's not a coincidence that a lot of the guys that are on the practice squad were in camp with the Jaguars, because what you would like is to have a bullpen full of players that know the system. They've gone through preseason. They understand those things. So it's minimal teaching and learning that needs to be done if they're elevated. This is all part of a bigger plan when it comes to the team building process, making sure you have enough auxiliary parts to be able to step up at a moment's notice whenever you need it.
That cut down day, JP, is really, it's lost some of the luster. And it doesn't have luster for players. I'm talking as fans and media who watch it and they're waiting for that cut down day to come, and it means careers are going to end. Some careers do end, and I'm not being insensitive to that. But the reality is it's not a 53-man roster in the NFL right now. It's about a 60 or 61-man roster because of how many that you can protect. And it's really, as Urban alluded to yesterday, having those 16 spots made those cuts a lot less difficult, because now you've got about, 66, 67 of the guys that you had before. So yesterday they said goodbye to about 15 guys, not 37 like it used to be on that day.
John Oehser, Bucky Brooks on Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks on Wednesday afternoons. The full archive available on Jaguars.com and the official Jaguars podcast network. Good conversation there at wide receiver. We're back in a moment. Chris Claybrooks mic'd up in preseason week 3. We'll get a piece of that. And hear from C.J. Beathard as well, Jaguars backup quarterback, on his comfortability in this offense. And it's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Radio Network.
Jaguars fans, here's a great way to pay with pride wherever you go. Exclusively from TIAA Bank, the Jacksonville Jaguars Visa debit card comes with a fierce look and fantastic features, along with the convenience to make purchases online or at millions of locations worldwide. And it's yours, free, when you open a Yield Pledge checking account. Order yours today. Visit TIAABank.com/JagsCard. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
If something's been hurting, aching, or bothering you, don't ignore it any longer. It's time to take care of your health again. It's time to make an appointment with a Baptist Health primary care doctor or specialist. Call 904-202-4U to schedule a virtual visit or see a doctor in person at a Baptist Health location. The time for better health is here. Call 904-202-4YOU or visit getbetterjacks.com.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we built the trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 44 years straight. Built for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't built for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2020 calendar year total sales.
Jaguars fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com. The world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and Jaguars players you love. Shop the most trusted brands, exclusive designs by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars. Join Fanatics Rewards today and earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
Yingling Traditional Lager. The beer for drinkers who know how to tap into their inner eagle and spread their wings. So prepare yourself for takeoff and let your night take flight. When your lips meet that cold, crisp amber lager, there's no looking back. So fly over the radar. Tonight's about the lager, and this lager is all about soaring higher. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings. DJ Yingling & Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please drink responsibly.
Any repeated physical activity puts stress on the body. Checking your phone, getting in the car, sitting at your desk. Checking the phone, getting in your car, sitting at your desk. Checking your phone for the 50th time today. If you do anything with regularity, you should get massaged with regularity. Massage Envy. Keep your body working.
Regular body work makes the body work with massage, skincare, and stretch. Come in today for more information or visit massageenvy.com for more details.
I'm on it! I'm on it! Let's go! Where you at? BBU and that little tag right there. We on it. We on it.
That's Chris Claybrooks, mic'd up in preseason week 3. He is on the 53 at corner, and he'll be a big special teams contributor as well. The full mic'd up piece available on Jaguars.com. And welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. The Jaguars and the entire league, in fact, off this weekend. And then week 1 kickoff weekend coming up next week. The Jaguars will face the Houston Texans down at NRG Stadium in Houston. The backup quarterback for the Jaguars in that game will be C.J. Beathard. He's now into his 5th NFL season, started his career in San Francisco, and he grew up in an NFL family. His grandfather is the former NFL executive Bobby Beathard in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And he had to battle through this quarterback competition throughout the preseason. Gardner Minshew was traded to the Philadelphia Eagles. Beathard is now the backup to Trevor Lawrence. And we heard from Beathard this week on a press conference, a conference call with the media, getting comfortable with the new offense. He had spent his first few career seasons out in San Francisco, and it's a little bit of a change here in Jacksonville.
Spring was trying to get a feel for it, feel for the offense, the terminology, all that kind of stuff. It's kind of like learning a new language. There's some carryover from, certain offenses in the NFL, and there's a little bit here, but it really is like learning a new language. So you're just kind of trying to speak that language with the coaches and get on the same page with them. And I'm still growing and learning and trying to do that as we go, and I will be for the next, however long I'm here. So. But it's definitely slowed down a lot. As camp started to get going and preseason started to get going, it slowed down a lot, and I feel comfortable in it now.
Beathard had some starting time in San Francisco in his past, and remember what he did in the preseason here. He had some moments late in games that were very positive for this Jaguars offense, which is a good start. But, hey, it was a good showing for him in the preseason, and a big reason I think why he is around here. He's not scared to throw the ball down the field, it felt like, either. So that's if something were to go catastrophically wrong, he could come in and at least keep the bulk of your offense going, which is the idea for a few weeks for a backup quarterback. Now, around here, unfortunately, the last couple of years have had a lot of backup quarterbacks that had to play. Let's hope that's not the case moving ahead. But good to hear from C.J. Beathard. First chance we've really had an opportunity to hear from him since he has signed with the Jaguars. He has some guaranteed money in that deal this year, about $2.7 million worth. And he'll be a nice addition for this Jaguars quarterback room and a good resource for Trevor Lawrence. He's got 12 games of starting action in his career in San Francisco. And now the backup here with the Jags. Let's come back in a moment. Final thoughts and information on the Packers-Saints game here at TIAA Bank Field. PRI Productions, the Southeast full-service event company, has everything you need to bring your next idea to life. Visit PRIProductions.com and learn more. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on Jaguars Radio.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, one taste and you're feeling good now, smiling wider now, seeing brighter now, bucket dunking now, namasteing now, popping a wheelie now, living lighter now. You're on Tropic Time now. And on Mondays, try our Jaguars Duval Delight Smoothies for $2.99. And you're roaring louder now, end zone dancing now, sipping spirit now. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
Hi folks, Frank Frangie here to tell you where to find the most authentic Southern Pit barbecue in all of Jacksonville. That's right, Bono's. For 72 years, Bono's has been smoking real pit barbecue right here on the First Coast. Smoked for hours, served in minutes, and always cut to order. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at TIAA Bank Field. Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. If you want great barbecue, head to Bono's today. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
A lot has changed in 60 years, but there's one thing that remains the same. Our commitment to our customers and to our community. There's no place like Jacksonville, and there's no place like Gate. Thank you for allowing us to serve you, past, present, and future. Now through August 31st, Jags fans can enjoy 2 of your favorite roller grill items for just $2 at participating Gate locations. Get them while they're hot. Gate, serving up more.
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh, she's doing great.
Oh, yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
At ViStar, we believe in better. And what's better than saving up to $5,000 in closing costs when you buy or refinance a home? With a ViStar no closing costs mortgage, you'll get a great rate, no hidden fees, and like the name says, no closing costs up to $5,000. If you believe saving money is better, join ViStar. Equal housing opportunity, insured by NCUA. All loans subject to credit approval. Offer not available on VA and FHA mortgages. For more information, visit vistarcu.org.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we built the trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 44 years straight. Built for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't built for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2020 calendar year total sales.
Welcome back, Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Radio Network. Glad you're along with us on this Thursday afternoon. A weird week. Off weekend coming up, Labor Day weekend, and then kickoff weekend next weekend. Of course, this would normally be the 4th preseason week, but the schedule has changed, of course, this year. So they've moved the regular season back a week and the Super Bowl back a week at the very end. So here we are with an off weekend. It won't be an off weekend for the Jaguars brass, I can tell you that. They continue, and even just reports a moment ago that Jacob Hollister, the tight end, is expected to sign with the Jaguars. Tom Pelissero of NFL Network tweeted that just a moment ago. So they continue to, as they said, a fluid roster situation. That's certainly the case as the Jags continue to make moves. Tonight, 7 o'clock on Fox 30, catch Jaguars All Access. Brent Martineau and Jeff Lageman, Ashwin Sullivan along as well from the East Club at TIAA Bank Field. They'll get you caught up on everything that has happened this week. Always a fun show. Check that out. And also this week, the NFL and the Saints have announced that the Packers-Saints game in Week 1 will be played at TIAA Bank Field here in Jacksonville. The Jaguars, of course, are away in Houston with a 1 o'clock kickoff time. Here in Jacksonville, it will be the Green Bay Packers and the New Orleans Saints at 4:25. It is the national game of the week on Fox, by the way, with the A Crew coming in. A big football game, but pre-sale is underway, and the ticket information is in depth from the Saints. They announced this just a little bit earlier today. Pre-sale is open for Saints season ticket holders and Saints or Jaguars season suite holders. Right now. That's open right now. Pre-sale for a Saints priority wait list is tonight at 7 o'clock, about an hour from now. That will open. The general public on sale for tickets for the Packers-Saints game next weekend here at the bank tomorrow, Friday, September 3rd at 11 o'clock Eastern Time. The easiest way, according to the Saints, to get tickets is go to Ticketmaster.com. But, of course, with the situation in New Orleans, they understand that many season ticket holders for the Saints and that are around that area don't have access to internet at the moment. Many don't have power at all. But they can also call the Jaguars ticket office, 904-633-2000 here in Jacksonville. It'll be open to the public tomorrow. If you want to come down and catch the Packers and Saints in Week 1, you can do that by calling the ticket office, visiting Ticketmaster.com, and we'll look forward to inviting those two teams here to Jacksonville next weekend. It will be a little strange. We'll be on the postgame show on Jaguars postgame here on the network, probably until about the middle of the second quarter of that game. And it'll be going on about 100 feet behind our studio with Jameis Winston and the Saints, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers coming up in week 1. But, hey, enjoy the weekend. We've got a long weekend ahead. The Jaguars are off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They're back on the practice field Monday to get ready for week number 1. Enjoy the college football this weekend. Busy weekend of that ahead. And thanks to our entire crew. Joe Fortunato on the audio, Brent Reber on the video. For Jeff Lageman and our entire crew, I'm JP Shadrick. This is Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Radio Network.